Welcome back, and delight to have in the studio with us today Gordon Challstrom. He's a Republican candidate for Jackson County Commissioner position number 2. And he is in the race, of course, with the Oregon primary coming up May 17th, trying to get his name and message out. Good to see you, Gordon. How are you?
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Good. Welcome to the campaign trail.
Thank you.
Why are you running?
I'm a businessman. I want to take business philosophy to our county government. We need to slow the growth of the county government, give businesses as much of a break as we can. Being a businessman yourself, you know the effects of government on your day-to-day life.
Right. You've run your own business for quite a few years. You grew it substantially. You were in the construction business, still are in the construction business. He has his BS degree from in business administration with a minor in economics from the University of Nevada in Reno, so that's a great school. There's a lot going on here, and yet of the 36 counties, Jackson County's probably been one of the best run.
Oh, it has been. You know, Danny Jordan has done a good job, you know, managing the county. And we've been blessed that we have a more diverse economy than the other counties do.
Right. So what do you see as the most significant thing going on right now in Jackson County? Or need?
Family wage jobs.
How do we do that? How do we do that? I mean, you say it, a lot of candidates say it, but you know, here's what's interesting. We got a great infrastructure, but we're not attracting new businesses.
Right. Well, the fees and the regulations are prohibitive. You know, we need to reduce those and make them affordable. I see Jackson County as being one of the largest barriers to entry in creating a business and building a building.
Really?
Yes, sir.
So as a commissioner, what can you possibly do to solve that?
We can work with other commissioners and we can reduce the fees and reduce the regulations and make it more inviting for businesses to come here. Water's
a big issue in Jackson County.
It is, and I was just listening about, you know, the dam closures in California, and part of that is we're going to lose 25% of our irrigation water. And I've been saying for years we need to be able to store excess runoff. We need to develop storage capacity so that when the water's flowing high and heavy out to the ocean, we can capture it, store it, and use it when the need comes around.
I guess our lakes are filling up this year. We're happy for that.
Yes.
We got good runoff. That looks pretty good. But just overall, one of our biggest assets in Southern Oregon is the agricultural industry. You got the pears and the vineyards. So I would assume that is an important issue as well.
And if we lose, you know, 25% of our irrigation water, that's a big hit. Mm-hmm. You know, Jackson County should have had a seat at the table at the dam removal, KBRA.
How do you increase storage, though? I mean, more lakes?
We're going to have to, you know, obtain property. We're going to have to dig some holes, and we're going to have to capture it as it's running down the river during the winter months.
Yeah.
So much of it's being wasted just going out to the ocean.
Okay, so how do we attract new businesses? I mean, I realize we got some regulation issues, but is there any effort, do you know, from the county level to go out and say, go down to California, Silicon Valley, and say, hey, come on up, guys?
You know, So Ready has been working on that for years, but their focus has been on high-tech jobs. Right. You know, and high-tech is can only be a small piece of it. We have a need for a more diverse group of people that need jobs, and the high tech is a very minute, you know, you got to have specific skills.
Sure.
So we need to broaden our job base so that the people that have high school graduation or 2 years of college can find jobs in this valley.
The relationship between counties and the state sometimes can get kind of interesting because the state puts these mandates on counties and they're unfunded. What kind of power does the state have to push some of that, or the county have to push some of that back?
Well, if their mandates harm the county financially or harm the people, we can fight that and require that the money comes with those mandates. I mean, they can't just arbitrarily impose all of their will on us. You know, there's 210,000 people, 214,000 people in this county. We can't afford a lot of these mandates that are coming down the pike.
O&C's big deal, as you well know. I'm sure you've studied all that, but we still would like to have control and management control of the natural resources around us. There's a lot of money to be made out there, but for some reason that's still an issue. What can you do, or what do you suggest being done to help free that up?
Well, I mean, we need to fight for coordination. I just want to bring your attention. Currently, there is a thinning and public safety issue going on above Ashland. They've been able to go up there and thin to protect the watershed and protect the citizens around Ashland. We need to apply those same things, whether it's the Butte Falls, Prospect, Shady Cove, Gold Hill, the Foots Creek region. You know, we are one devastating, catastrophic fire away from seeing communities burned.
Well, we came close to that in the last couple of summer cycles, and you were mentioning earlier that in the Butte Falls area, and some of those, if we don't do some thinning, they are just waiting to happen.
Oh, it will. I mean, it's not a matter of when or will it, it's a matter of when it'll come.
So, Gordon, how does the county get the freedom to do that? I mean, this has constantly been a struggle between Jackson County and the feds. What do you do?
Well, I mean, currently Jackson County is listed as a cooperating agency with these other federal agencies. We need to take our constitutional rights and demand coordinating. And by doing that, that gets us a seat at the table, and then we can help develop the plans for the management of our resources.
Wow. You see any other areas of the county? I think safety-wise, we're in pretty good shape, don't you think?
Yes, but I think we need to fully fund the Jackson County Jail. You know, this book and release that's currently going on is putting our citizens at risk. I mean, they get released one day, they're back out stealing cars or breaking into cars the next day. I mean, for the sake of the citizens, we need to be able to lock these people up and keep them in jail.
So that becomes a budget issue on the sheriff's side, and yet they have a lot of resources, but they don't have manpower resources. Is that basically what's happening?
Well, yes, the training between a sheriff out in the field and a sheriff working in the jail is different. So, but we need to find the money. I mean, the number one priority of the government is to protect the people. Mm-hmm. So if we have to, you know, take a little money from the other departments to fully fund the jail and the sheriff's department, that should be our first priority.
Because there's been some pretty good cooperation with the Sheriff's Department working with other small communities within the Jackson County in making sure that they are protected, but at the same time, they just don't have the manpower to do it.
Well, limited resources, you know, here we go again. That's why we need to expand our tax base so that we can bring in more revenue. That's why it's...
What's it mean to expand the tax base?
Get more job creators,
okay.
More private sector job creators, you know, and we've got to look at every department in the county, and where it's smart, maybe we could outsource it, where we could actually create a private sector job that contributes more income instead of hiring more county employees.
Could there be a temporary offering to attract businesses? I mean, I know some counties and states even do it, and big cities do it, where they'll say, you know, we'll defer your taxes for a year or something. I mean, I don't know what it would be, but some kind of a enterprise zone by which businesses will take a second look at Jackson County.
Well, you'd have to look at it. You know, you wouldn't want to have to give so much away that it takes 20 years to recoup it. That wouldn't be good for the citizens.
Right. But there's got to be something there.
Well, I agree. You know, that's why I think, you know, an example, you know, Walmart comes to town, they're building a $12 million building, and they're paying $2 million in fees. You know, I mean, that's an exorbitant amount of money. We need to reduce those costs so that the small businesses are the true job creators. The big businesses, they have a smaller portion of the pie as far as job creation.
Are some of these restrictions, Gordon, let's say you want to build a building, are they county? Do they originate from the county, or do they originate from state and fed, or is it a combination? Because, you know, we looked at building buildings in the past, and I looked at exorbitant fees before I ever put a shovel in the ground.
That's a fact, you know. I mean,
in fact, you're pre-taxed on something.
The land use laws emanate from Salem, you know. In the county, they have just very little wiggle room in there. But we need to be fighting LUBA and standing up for the business owners so that we can make it easier. You're absolutely right. You spend a lot of money just even before you ever submit a plan to the county for approval.
Wow. All right. So what would be the difference between you, Bob Strasser, and Doug Bridenthal? Those are the other two candidates in the race.
Well, I'm the only one that signed the front of a paycheck. I'm the only one that had to navigate the regulatory government agencies to run a business, open a business. They don't really understand it. They haven't signed the front of a paycheck. They've just been career politicians, and they see a businessman as somebody that is wealthy, and we're not. You know, we have very tight budgets, And we really limit the growth of our business and our overhead. We need a county government that limits the growth of the government as well.
All right. Well, let me just say to our viewers and listeners, Gordon Challstrom, he is a candidate. Where can they get a hold of you for Jackson County Commissioner, position number 2? That's the current position being held by Doug Breidenthal, and there's some issues now whether or not he can even be reelected. But
GordonForCommissioner.com.
Okay.
And you can go on Facebook, GordonForCommissioner.com there.
GordonForCommissioner.com. All right, that's pretty simple. Anything else? I mean, that you feel that's important that compels you to get into this?
Well, I've got 7 grandkids in this valley, and if we don't change the direction of government and how it impacts the people, my grandkids won't be able to get a job here. They're going to have to move to other cities, Portland, the Willamette Valley, to find a decent paying jobs. Family wage jobs are a key, vital need in this valley, and we have got to work to meet those.
Okay, because I couldn't agree with you more. I think at the end of the day, we got to take a long look and say, all right, wait a minute, stop here. We got a lot of things going on that are good. I mean,
Yes.
I read an article in Wall Street Journal some time back that they said from Los Angeles to Seattle, the #1 place to live is Southern Oregon. And I thought, boy, what a great thing to have, publicized. And yet, we're not attracting the business to support that move.
Well, we have, people out there. Years ago, somebody wanted to come in and develop a racetrack. And the county commissioners, well, we don't want those kind of people in here. And I question that. I mean, those kind of people that bring in $1 million Greyhound buses, semi-trailers full of vehicles, and they would fill the hotels and motels up for 100 miles. Yeah. We've got to expand our horizon and think outside the box. And that's something that a businessman, I think, can bring to the table where career politicians, they can't.
All right. Anyway, you want to learn more about Gordon, because don't forget, May 17th is the May primary, and whoever emerges out of this three-man race in the primary goes on to meet the Democrat in the fall. So if you want to learn more about Gordon's candidacy, again, it's GordonForCommissioner.com. GordonForCommissioner.com. Thanks, buddy. Best to you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you next time on Focus Today.
I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.